The first film I'm going to be talking about today is a movie called Adrift. It is based on a real-life story of Tammy Oldham and Richard Sharp. They are people who were caught in Hurricane Raymond in September of 1983, one of the deadliest and most catastrophic hurricanes of all time. Tammy is a drifter. She's played by Shailene Woodley. She meets a sailor played by Sam Claflin, and they fall in love. The film title Adrift, of course, refers not only to what happens to their boat, but kind of also to their personalities. Tammy is a drifter. She is kind of uprooted from home. She finds this guy. They connect. I really, really dig the director of this film, Baltazar Kormacur. He directed Everest, but also a film that came out last year called The Oath. The Oath is probably the best film that you maybe have never heard of and definitely didn't see last year, but go check it out. But I was super impressed with Baltazar Kormacur after The Oath. This movie, he does a great job of directing. The cinematography is stunning. There's a lot of underwater sequences and effects, and it just looks great. The acting is superb. Woodley and Claflin are both great. This movie is told in flashback. It kind of goes forward, as you see what's happening in current time after the hurricane aftermath. You're also flashing back to kind of how they got to the fateful trip, how they met, and stuff like that. On the downside, some of the storytelling was a bit too on the nose. There are some pieces of dialogue, and in fact, in general, I wished a lot of the dialogue and the banter kind of between the two of them was a bit stronger. After all, the entire movie is based, anchored, no pun intended, in the believability of their relationship and the strength of their relationship. So I kind of was hoping to kind of have those scenes be stronger and so we could feel more of a connection. It's not like they don't have chemistry, but there's just something kind of missing to that. And I think the overall story kind of suffers because of that. And that also, for some reason, the film it's interesting without ever really being captivating. It takes a known premise, being lost at sea and having to fight for survival, and it kind of weaves in a romance. There's a few twists, a few turns, many of which you can see coming, though. Ultimately, though, this is a solid thriller. It's a solid romance. And I really hope that this movie doesn't get lost at sea at the box office this weekend, because it's definitely worth watching. Go out, seek out Adrift. I give it the grade of a B.
Females awake, boys.
Let's get laid.
Hello.
Welcome.
They must be from California.
It's gonna be all right. Just corner the one that looks the loneliest and speak in short sentences.
Hello, my name is N, short for Henry.
I'm Zan.
Now that is punk.
Do more punk to me. What do your people do on an ordinary day?
We do what we want.
Have you no restrictions?
This is unprecedented. We've got to get out of here.
We've got to get out of there!
Also in theaters this weekend is a strange British punk rock comedy called How to Talk to Girls at Parties. It's from director John Cameron Mitchell. He also directed the cult classic Hedwig and the Angry Inch. He's looking to strike cult status again with this movie. It involves a group of teens that are so strange that they seem like aliens, and that's because, spoiler alert, they are aliens. One of the aliens is played by Elle Fanning. She falls for a young human male played by Alex Sharp. Also stars Nicole Kidman, Ruth Wilson. I found this film to be a compelling premise, but one that wasn't able to really sustain its power over the course of the entire movie. This felt like one of those movies that's just trying to kind of be cool and stylish instead of letting others ultimately judge it as being such. So in that sense, it just sort of tries a bit too hard. There were some elements I liked, some crazy sequences and ideas, but it never really gels or comes together in any cohesive way. Because of that, I'm giving How to Talk to Girls at Parties a C+. So I didn't love it, but it wasn't all bad. You go see it and let me know what you think. Speaking of that, make sure to follow me at Tom Santilli on Twitter. go to movieshowplus.com for all my latest reviews and movie-related stuff, and let's start a discussion on some of these new films. I'm still interested in what you all thought of Solo last week, but let's discuss the new films this week as well. We got Adrift, we got How to Talk to Girls at Parties, there's a couple other smaller films coming out, but that'll do it for this week. We will see you next time.